All right, so another common issue that I run into in Domino Administration is where a person has an ID file where the public key stored in the ID file does not match the public key that's stored in the person document. And this can occur a variety of ways. I see it happen in environments where when a notes ID gets lost, the administrator who may not have known what they were doing at the time, they just went ahead and they created another ID file. Also, I one time ran into an environment that their standard operating procedure was whenever they were reissuing, or excuse me, whenever they were creating new workstations for their users, they would just go ahead and create a new Notes ID file. Why do you need to keep the old Notes ID? It works. And you know what? For a simple environment and for a user that's not doing mail encryption, that does work. It probably will never come up as a problem. However, if you have users that like to use mail encryption, and also if you as an administrator decide to enable public key checking as part of your login protocol, then this is where problems can start or do start happening. So when you find yourself in this problem where you've got either one ID with a mismatched key, or you might have multiple ID files out there and you're trying to figure out which ID file is the right ID file, the first step you want to take is to look at that public key that is part of the ID. And the way you do that is in the admin client, if you go to the configuration tab and then over here under tools, you select certification ID properties. We select an ID file, go ahead and enter its password. Under your identity, your certificates, we have the other actions option to mail copy certificate. Copy the certificate, and I'll just go ahead, whoops, copy certificate. Oh. Sorry, my screen's just looking a little weird being in presentation mode. Anyway, so we close all the boxes. And then we go into a notepad document because we've just copied that public key to our clipboard and we paste it. Now in the case where I had multiple keys, I would want to go and open up each one of my notes IDs in the fashion I just showed you and copy those public keys into Notepad. And then I can compare them and see which ones are the same, which ones are different, and ultimately, I compare that against what is in the respective person document. So in the case of Marie Curie, I go to the Certificates tab, and I can compare these values to see if they're the same or different. In the case where you have mismatched keys, they're going to be different. And if you are just dealing with a single Notes ID, then most likely your resolution is going to be take what you just copied onto Notepad and place that into the certified public key in the person document, effectively overriding what was previously there. In the case where you have multiple IDs, that's where you're going to have to figure out which one's the right one. And in the case where the user has encrypted mail, before you make any changes or before you decide, hey, I'm going to delete an ID file permanently, it's really important for you to understand which documents were encrypted and which key were they encrypted with. And then using Lotus script, you can write code to use the ID that was used to encrypt the documents to unencrypt them, and then to resecure them, encrypt them using Lotus script code with the new ID file that's going to be the ID file moving forward. Okay.